Hello guys. So I have finally revealed the parks that I am visiting for 2019, but of all the new credits that I am getting, I'm going to talk about what am I expecting from them. Am I expecting them to be a good ride or not so good ride? We'll have to find out. So first coaster today is Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, which is going to be at this is one of the two new coasters that are going to be at my home parks. This is going to be at Islands Adventure, and I'm expecting this to be a very fun ride. I already know a lot of the stuff that's going to be in the ride. I know there's a free fall section. There's a lot of cool stuff, like a lot of technology. Yeah, there's a backward section, that's what I know. I mean, I'm not trying to give out many spoilers, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows that those are the elements in that ride. But this ride does look very well themed. And I think this is going to be a very great replacement for Dragon Challenge. Next up, let's talk about Tigris. And this is a Premier Ride Skywalker 2, and I haven't done this one yet, but I've done Tempesto before, and I can say that Tigris would probably be a pretty good ride. It's a clone, so it can't be anything outstanding, but hey, Premier Ride Skywalker 2 models are fun, so can't complain about that. Now, let's get into the coasters that are out of state. So first up, we have Copperhead Strike. This coaster looks so much fun. Just look at the hang time. If you guys seen the POVs, the hang time on this thing looks insane. Especially, I'm really excited for that JoJo roll. I'm expecting this to be a pretty darn good roller coaster. Nothing to complain about Copperhead Strike. Then let's talk about Lightning Rod. This is my most anticipated roller coaster of the year. This thing looks crazy. This has been a bucket list coaster for me since, I don't know, this coaster is just, it looks incredible. Sure, it may not be the longest ride in the world, but from what I've heard nothing but rave reviews about Lightning Rod. Nothing to complain about over here. Next up, let's talk about Thunderhead, and I love a good GCI wooden roller coaster, and I've heard that Thunderhead it definitely ranks among one of the top ones. A lot of people say that it is getting pretty rough, but I'll be the judge of that. But yeah, I've heard this is probably one of the best GCIs ever made. And I could see it being the best GCI once I ride it. We'll have to wait and see though. My current favorite GCI is Lightning Racer, but Thunderhead looks absolutely awesome. And I'm so excited for that Station Flyby too. So yeah, nothing to complain about with Thunderhead. Next, let's talk about Whistle Punk Chaser. This is just another kiddie coaster, so there's nothing really to talk about over here. I'm just going to ride this one just for the credit. Next, let's talk about Dragon Flyer. This is a new Vekoma suspended coaster. And this ride looks pretty neat in some ways. Sure, the ride's kind of short and all. But I feel like this will be a step up from Freedom Flyer at Fun Spot America. And this ride does look like it'll be a very fun ride. Hopefully it maintains a buttery smooth ride because it is a new ride. And the helixes look forceful according to the POVs. So nothing to complain about with this ride, except that it's short. Let's talk about Mystery Mine next. And this is a coaster that I wanted to ride as a kid, and I'm definitely excited to get on this thing. Now, I have heard that this coaster can be rough in some spots. That's what I've heard, but I will be the judge of that. But I've heard the restraints can get pretty obnoxious on this one. But the theming looks awesome. I love the mine stuff, the mining theming, and the fire effects. It looks awesome. And I'm excited to ride it in person. Next, let's talk about Fire Chaser Express. And I haven't really done much research on this one, but this does look like a really neat attraction. I've heard it has a forwards and backwards section. Pretty neat. I'm expecting this to be a pretty good family coaster. Now let's talk about Wild Eagle. This is going to be an interesting roller coaster. I've never done a B&M Wing coaster, but I've heard this ride is kind of underwhelming. But hey, I'll be the judge of that. I'm expecting it to not be the best ride out there. I'll just need to ride it back row, maybe I'll like it more, but we'll see. Next, let's talk about Tennessee Tornado. I remember when I was starting to become an enthusiast, I remember Taylor saying that this coaster was just absolutely incredible. And I've ridden 2 air loopers at the moment. I've done Loch Ness Monster, Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and Carolina Cyclone at Carowinds. But I've heard this is probably the greatest air looper ever to be built. And this thing looks awesome. I've heard it's pretty darn smooth for an Aero too. So yeah, I'm excited to get on Tennessee Tornado. Now let's talk about Blazing Fury. This is like an indoor dark ride style attraction. And my friends were telling me, do not ride this ride. They said that, my friend said it is literally the worst ride ever made. Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as saying that. But I'm expecting it to be a decent ride. We'll just have to wait and see. You don't know, I could find it to be a sucky ride. But who knows? So let's move on over to the Wacky Worm at Jolly Roger Amusement Park. And I'm talking, I gave my expectations for this kind of ride in 2018. However, I just did not have the time to visit Jolly Roger Amusement Park in 2018. But I will try to this year in 2019. But Wacky Worm, it's just another Wacky Worm, so can't really say much about it. Then there's the Sea Serpent, which another kiddie coaster, really can't say much about it either. Then we got Barracuda. This is a new Flitzer style roller coaster that they're building in the park. And this is another one of those coasters that I'll probably just ride for the credit anyways. But this thing looks pretty neat though. I mean, I've done a Flitzer before, and I can say it's a decent ride. So, nothing really to talk about with this one. Now let's talk about Invader. So, I've ridden every major coaster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, except this one. This is a coaster that I am really excited to ride. Because, I love GCI wind coasters, and well, I've heard this is kind of on the lower end. I'm still excited to ride this. I've heard, well, for one thing I've heard is that the trains used to be on Gwazi at Busch Gardens Tampa. That's kind of interesting, if you'd say that. But, yeah, I think this is going to be a very exciting attraction. And I can definitely, I wouldn't say it would be as good as something like White Lightning at Fun Spot America. I can see it as definitely being a very fun GCI. Next up, let's talk about Grover's Alpine Express. Yeah, it's just a kiddie coaster. I didn't do this coaster when I went to the park in 2016. So I'll just ride this for the credit, and that'll be about it. Next up, let's talk about Dominator. I am really excited to ride Dominator. Of course, this is going to be one of my top coasters, or my top bucket list coasters for the year, because this thing looks awesome. The only floorless coaster that I have done at the moment is Kraken at SeaWorld. So this would be my second B&M floorless. And while it does kind of look on the lower end for floorless, I'm still excited for that gargantuan vertical loop and all the inversions following behind it. So yeah, Dominator, I'm definitely excited to ride that. It's going to be a hype ride. Next up, we got Woodstock Express. I've done one of the Woodstock Express coasters before at Carowinds, and I can say that it's an okay ride. So nothing really to talk about here. Then we got the Great Pumpkin Coaster, and holy moly, this coaster looks so good. I am so excited to ride this. It'll be a trillion out of 10. Next up, let's talk about Avalanche, and this coaster looks pretty nice. I haven't done a bobsled coaster before, so I think it's going to be a pretty neat experience. Well, it's not going to be anything like too out of this world. I think Avalanche is going to be a nice little attraction. And I've always wanted to ride a bobsled coaster, and I'm glad that I'm finally going to do a bobsled style roller coaster, because this thing looks a lot of fun. It is a true classic, so yeah. Next up, let's talk about the Flight of Fear. And sorry I'm skipping Volcano again. Volcano is now permanently closed, so I can't talk about Volcano anymore. RIP Volcano. But what I can talk about now is Flight of Fear. And I've done a premiere at Skyrocket. Sorry, not Skyrocket. I've done a premiere at Spaghetti Bowl Coaster before, but it was outdoors. It was the Joker's Jinx at Six Flags America. But I'm excited to ride this. I'm excited to ride it in the dark. It's kind of like like a Seafair style rock and roller coaster, or a sci-fi rock and roller coaster. I don't know whatever you want to say. With lap bars, this thing looks awesome. It really does look awesome. So let's talk about Intimidator 305 now. This thing I've heard nothing but rave reviews about this one. This is of all the coasters that I'm anticipating for, this is probably second, only to Lightning Rod. But this thing looks awesome. This is called the Blackout Coaster, and I've heard a lot of people black out on this thing, and I'm so hyped for that ride. I wonder if I'll get a blackout. We'll see. I don't know. But I've heard this is probably the most intense ride ever created. And it is I've heard it is so aggressive, so I'm so hyped to ride Intimidator 305 and put my skills to the test. Next up, let's talk about Anaconda. And from what I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about Anaconda. From my perspective, it does look kind of on the crappy side. Like, it kind of looks like a roller coaster that you would build in Roller Coaster Tycoon. But the layout looks dumb, but some people said it is a alright ride. Some people said it's okay. A lot of people wouldn't call it outstanding, but a lot of people said it's just fine. And then there's a lot of people who absolutely hate this thing. I don't know where I'm gonna land in that. I'll just have to see when I ride it. But yeah, I'm not expecting this to be an absolutely outstanding attraction either. Sorry, Anaconda. Now let's talk about the Backlot Stunt Coaster. This thing looks so cool. Like, literally, this you could definitely fit this ride at Hollywood Studios. It would definitely work well with the park. The theming on this thing looks incredible. Like, really, just looks awesome. And I'm excited to ride Backlot Stunt Coaster. This is another coaster that I've always wanted to ride since I was a kid. I'm finally glad I'm doing it. Now let's talk about Rebel Yell. And no, I am not calling it Racer 75. Screw Racer 75. Rebel Yell is what it's supposed to be called. King's Dominion, you frustrate me with that. Anyhow, Rebel Yell looks so much fun. I just love how there's two sides. Yes, that's 2 credits. And they race each other. It looks like a nice little wooden coaster. I swear, if you don't change it to Racer 75, I'm gonna be mad. I mean, Rebel Yell, my bad. If you don't change it to Rebel Yell, I'm gonna be so mad. Racer 75 needs to go away today, people. Now let's talk about Apple's Apple. Apple's Apple, just another Wild Mouse. Nothing really to say here. It does have a nice little drop before the switchbacks, but this is about it. Nothing really to talk about here. Next up, we've got Twisted Timbers. Man, this thing looks awesome. It low-key looks like a hype ride. Just look at all those people on the train. They're having a great time. That's probably going to be me when I ride Twisted Timbers. What I've heard is insanely smooth. I've heard it's got some fantastic airtime. I've heard it is a nice, just awesome roller coaster to ride. So yeah, I'm hyped up for Twisted Timbers. And our last coaster that we're going to talk about is Grizzly. I am so excited to ride Grizzly. It takes you out into the woods, and it just looks awesome. I've heard it can be pretty rough, but hopefully it's not too bad. And hopefully I'll be able to get a night ride on this thing, because I've heard a night ride on this thing is pretty epic. So, that is the end for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more videos and more content in the future. Also, don't forget to check out Theme Park Guy Productions on Instagram for more content. I'll see you guys next time. Have a theme-tacular day.